the Guy Jeans Podcast.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the podcast. Hey, I wanted to thank you guys for listening to the podcast and help making it become successful and helping it grow. When you guys get a chance, make sure to follow the Guy Jeans Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. When you follow it, it helps it grow and it's completely appreciated. So thank you very much. I got a cool thing that has just started as well. I started a Patreon page. And the Patreon page is patreon.com/Guy Jeans Podcast. It's patreon.com/Guy Jeans Podcast if you put that in your browser. On the Patreon page, you guys can get exclusive audio and professional tips from the guests of the show. I mean, they're exclusive. Exclusive audio feed to private Guy Jeans Podcasts. Exclusive content, behind the scenes content. You guys can request different things on the Patreon page. You get to see the show notes, and I'm going to give you guys a shout out on the podcast as well. So check that out, the Patreon/Guy Jeans Podcast, and become a patron, and it helps support the podcast. So thank you very much. Welcome to the podcast. I'm here with my good friend Freddie Ramirez. How you doing, Freddie?
I'm doing good.
What's going on, man?
Well, we're here at the Delta Bass Supply doing some fishing this weekend.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah. Well, we're trying to catch some fish. Got skunked today, but yeah, it is what it is.
And so it was pretty tough out there for you?
It was tough today. Yeah. Missed some nice fish. Caught a lot of small fish. Nothing measurable though.
So what is the Bass and Fly?
Bass and Fly is a fly fishing only tournament that Costa puts on, and who else? There's there's
Pacifico. Very important. Thing there.
Yeti's here, sponsors. Yeah, a lot of good sponsors here that come out and support the fly fishing community here.
And so, what is the Bass and Fly entail? Is it like a team thing?
It's a team, 2-man teams, women or men, fish out of a boat. You get roughly 8 hours to fish, blast-offs at 6, weigh-ins at between 2 and 2:30, and your best 5 fish.
Yeah, and you're out there in the California Delta, what's crazy is I feel like all the water, every bit of the water looks insane. Yeah. And like, to me, looks like everything's good. So like with my partner, Rob Tamson, I'm like, what about right there? And he's like, oh, that's not good water. I'm like, well, all of it looks good to me. Don't it?
Right? Does. And I'll put it this way. To me, it looks like a beautiful woman. It's all sexy water out there. It is. It's right? All sexy where there might be a big fish there.
The thing about the Costa Bass and Fly is that you could catch a bass of your life, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, just one cast, you could catch a 10-pound, a double-digit bass just by one cast.
One cast in the right place. Yeah. Just if the fish is there, it's going to take it.
So who's all here, man? I mean, there's like all the bass people come out of the closet, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and that's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice. Yeah.
I mean, who wins this thing every year, man? These same guys win it every year, right?
John Sherman and what's his buddy's name?
Rutger.
Rutger, yes.
Is it Rutger?
Was it Roger Rutger or something like that? Yeah, Rick Rutgers. Yes.
And then who's the other dudes?
Brian Poltz. Brian's fishing with Ryan Williams this year. Yeah. There's some good sticks out here. There's some really good sticks out here this year. Well, every year, we come out here and fish. There's some good
Those
fishermen
dudes got like 10 pounds today.
Yeah. It's shit. It was tough today. I got humbled today here on the Delta. Yeah, it was good.
It's crazy, man. Those who don't know, the Delta I guess you could say it's influenced by tides.
Yes,
right?
High tide, low tide. Yes,
yeah,
fishing the right tide.
So you got tides coming in, you got tides coming out, and you have to adjust your fishing to those tides because some of the areas you want to fish could go pretty shallow.
Yes, some could dry up, and so and then you got to fish the channels.
Yeah. So what did you find out there? You've been pre-fishing for the last couple days.
Yeah, yesterday we did well. Shit, we killed them yesterday, and then today, missed nice fish, caught a lot of little ones, and that's why I said this place can humble you really quick, and it did.
All the people out there that are listening to the podcast, if you guys like to fly fish for bass, you got to come up and check out the Costa Bass and Fly and fish this tournament. If you do, great. Awesome. If you don't, it's not that big of a deal. It's just all about being with friends and meeting new people and having a good time when you say
it is. Yeah, and it's nice to see everybody every year. This is pretty much a lot of time where we just get to see a lot of old friends that we made and sit here and enjoy ourselves for the whole week.
So let's go back, man. How did you and I meet?
It's funny, my dad and my mom and dad we grew up in Bakersfield and fished to Kern a lot when I was in high school. Moved to Fresno to go to school, and then my dad called me one day. He goes, "Hey, there's a guy from Ventura that's opening a fly shop." I said, "Oh shit, I got to go up and check this place out." That year I didn't get to go up, and next year I saw his name at the Visalia outdoor show.
So wait a second. So this article, was that in like the Fresno?
No, it was in the Bakersfield, California.
Oh, okay.
Bakersfield, California. They put an article about you in there, and my dad sent it to me.
Okay.
I said, okay, I got to get to know this guy here.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny, this guy here. Yeah.
Right. So you heard my name and whatnot, and then I came up to Clovis?
No, Visalia. The Visalia.
Oh, Visalia.
Yeah,
okay.
the Visalia used to have an outdoor show, and
oh, that's right.
He was doing a casting presentation. I said, hey, what are you doing for lunch? He goes, nothing. So you and I went and had lunch, shot the shit for a little while, and then I said, well, shit, next time I got to come up. We got to, go up and see the shop. I did. I said, okay. And then we just started talking about his club. They just started the Southern Sierra Fly Fishers. I said, well, hell, we can get our club together because you were getting ready to do the Team USA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, we can do the same format. I said, you get your club, our club, you get your 5 fishermen. I got my 5 fishermen. Shit, and 2 of them are here today fishing the Delta Bass Fly.
Mm-hmm.
And we just went up and I think we beat you the first year and you guys beat us the rest of the other years. But yeah, it's all good fun though. That's what I love about fly fishing.
So then there was the Team USA trials on the Kings in Fresno, right?
Yes,
and you guys, the Fresno
Fly Fishermen, yeah, we kind of sponsored. Jack Dennis came down, sponsored, kind of showed us what he wanted. There was a few people that we got together, went up, looked at the river, and Jack said, this is perfect, for the trials to come on.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he goes, do you think you guys can do it? And we're like, hell yeah, we can do it. Yeah, so it was just trying to get our team together to put the trials on. We did it 2 years in a row. We did the Upper Kings and Huntington Lake the first year. Second year, we did the Upper Kings, and then we did Hume Lake.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And then that's the time when you were up there fishing Hume Lake. Yeah.
Well, I did both.
Yeah, you did both.
Yeah, and I loved it, man. I don't even know if I had fished the Upper Kings before that.
Yeah, I don't think you have. Yeah. So you were picking my brain and kind of told what it's all about.
It's very similar to the Kern. You know, a lot of the same bugs,
same
and stuff,
same type of water, just a little bigger than the Kern, and that's what's nice. Yeah.
If you guys have never seen the Kings River, it's a beautiful river, freestone stream, just like the Kern, and it's a beautiful place to go and fly fish. It
is. Yeah.
In some of those sections, is it still special regs?
It's still special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's from Bailey's Bridge up, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Garnet Dyke. That's right. Garnet Dyke up is special regs. Yeah.
Okay, so from there up, it's what are the regs? Is it like catch and release or?
I think it is. It is catch and release, isn't it? Yeah, from Garnet Dyke up, but I think from Bailey Bridge, I think you're allowed to keep 2.
Okay, so it's very similar to the upper Kern kind of a thing. So in the Kings River, is there a native fish in there, or how does that? Is there a Kings River rainbow or anything like that, you guys?
No, I don't think there is.
There's a squawfish. There's a squawfish.
Yeah, just a squaw. Yeah, what is it, Sacramento squawfish or whatever squawfish it is.
Sacramento pike minnow.
There you go, Sacramento pike minnow. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the trials of the USA Open. So, you guys put that on, and how long did that take you guys to do all those beats and everything? So let me explain this. So for those that don't know, that don't know about competitive fly fishing, when you go into a competition, you get a beat, and you want to explain
Yeah,
that.
so I think the beats can just kind of vary on the length of water, how much fishing water you have. So Phil and I, went up there one day with our spikes and orange tape and kind of marked out the beats. I think we had 12. I think it was 12 or 15 beats we had on the river, and we did it on both sides. And then every competitor has 2 hours to fish the water. And then, you however many fish you catch, they measure in centimeters. So, and that's pretty much how it was. Now the competition runs. And then after you do that, take a break, then they redraw, and then everybody else gets to fish, not the same water, but just different beats up on the river. And it's the same thing with the lake fishing too. You have a certain area where, you're marked to fish, and that was at Huntington Lake. And then on the next year, we did the lock style fishing, where you fish from a boat, where front competitor has the choice of rowing the boat or controlling the boat, and then they flip-flop, and then the other competitor has the choice to choose where he wants to fish.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
So what's your favorite memory from that whole thing? Do you have like some good memories?
I think my favorite memory is that I met a lot of great people that love to fly fish,
Yep.
and they took it serious. A good person was George Daniels.
Yeah.
He waded across the river. I watched him wade across. His waders filled up with water, and George is like 6'4", 6'3". Mm-hmm. Hell, I'm only 5'8", and he was freezing cold when he got off. He goes, "I didn't bring any dry clothes." I said, "Well, I got an extra change." And I'm a double X, and I think he was a medium. And it was funny seeing him in my sweatshirt and in my sweatpants. They're all baggy, but that was neat. Yeah, met some really neat people.
I think one of the things that I came away with was I met all of you guys, from Fresno for one.
Right.
But I also learned a lot from the Team USA competitions. Not only meeting all those guys, but like some of the best, fly fishers in the country,
yes,
were there, and learning with them, talking with them, all that kind of stuff, and you guys too.
Yeah, right? I think my favorite memory out of the whole thing is that I got to meet Vlade.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of the woven nymphs. He's a good friend with Jeff Currier. And Jeff and Jack, and Vlade took me up to his room one day, and he showed me how to weave, how to weave his Polish nymphs.
Right.
And that was cool. So, getting to learn that from the master. So that was really neat.
So for those that don't know, who is Vlade?
Hell, I don't know much about Vlade, but the person to ask would be Jeff Currier.
I think I know that he was wasn't he like the world champion for like the Polish team?
For the Polish, that's right. Yeah, he was. That's right.
For many years or something like that.
Right, and I think he was the one that innovated the Polish nymphing and things like that. Yeah. So it was neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to take they had a clinic and a class.
Okay.
During that time period, and there was a whole bunch of us that took a class with him and learned his style of nymphing, which was really cool, man.
Yeah. No, and that's what's that's what I love about fly fishing. You're constantly learning something new. I don't think anybody can ever say they're a master of fly fishing.
Yeah.
You're going to learn some new technique from someone. Someone doesn't know everything, and that's what's neat about this sport.
So where'd you grow up, Fred? And how'd you get into fly fishing?
I grew up in Bakersfield.
Oh, you did?
Born in Bakersfield. Yeah. My dad worked for the Southern Pacific Railroad, and then in the early 70s, my grandfather bought a ranch between Crothers and Riverdale, and we moved out there. And as I got older, like all kids, I hated to read. I hated reading. So one thing that my grandfather would do, he would read the Fresno Bee, read the back page, and I'd come home from school, fourth grade, read up your comprehension, and that's how he tested me on that. And then I started reading more books about Joe Brooks, Lee Wolf, Dave Whitlock, all of the old,
Wait. Hold on there. So wait a second. Who gave you those books? I mean, how did you get into how did that go down?
I went to the library. My grandfather was stationed in Europe during World War II, and a British officer taught him how to cast. And didn't know anything about fly fishing, but it was therapy for him. So as I was growing up, I would see him out casting. I'm like, what the hell's he doing? Early in the morning and watching him do it. And he goes, when are you going to teach me? He goes, well, when your reading gets better, then I'll teach you. So that's when I started, okay, what is this fly fishing? So I started going to the library, learning about, what it's all about and things like that. And that's what got piqued my interest in fly fishing. And that's since then, I was 12 years old when I started doing it.
And then you guys started getting books and
getting books, reading where these guys traveled. And I'm like, shit, wouldn't that be a hell of a job? Being able to travel and fish, at 12 years old, you're just thinking, shit, what can I do with it? So that's just started, excuse me. Yeah, that's what just piqued my interest in fly fishing. So as I got older, we'd go to the creeks up in the Sierras and fish crickets. I'd put crickets on the fly rod and try to cast them out. And I couldn't get them out. And then I'd have to go to the sporting goods store and buy the little black crickets. So yeah, that's what got me going on catching the little brook trout in the Sierras and the little rainbows. Yeah.
So who took you fishing?
My dad did. We did a lot of camping. We did a lot of camping when we were kids growing up.
Was he fly fishing too, or?
No, Dad never fly fished. He just regular bait fish with salmon eggs. But I'd take my old grandfather's rod out there and just start playing in the creeks with it. Hell, I didn't know what I was doing, but caught fish.
So your grandfather gave you your first fly rod?
Yeah, he gave his old fly rod. Yeah, okay. His old fly rod. Yeah, I still have it though too. That's what's that's just an heirloom that I'll pass on to my grandson when he gets older though.
That's cool, man. And then so you went up and you started doing that, and then did you start figuring it out?
Just started figuring out. Started reading more books. Got my interest going more into fly fishing, learning how to cast. Kind of a self-taught person, and then as we started fishing more, my dad and I started doing our annual father and son trip. We started going to Crowley in I think it would be the early 80s. And then I saw this one guy walking from Convict Lake with the float tube. And he had these huge rainbows with him. So I went as a kid, okay, hey, how'd you catch these? Told me fly fishing. And he lived in Bakersfield. Can't remember the gentleman's name, but he goes, come by the house and I'll show you what it's all about. And that's what kind of got my juices going more and more about that. And then I found out about the Upper Kern while I was in high school. It was neat because when we moved from Carruthers to Bakersfield High, I had enough credits to graduate. All I needed was one more class, and it was a U.S. Civics class. So hell, I was out of school by 11 o'clock, and then I call my mom, say, hey mom, I'm heading up to Kernville, and I'd go fish the Johnsondale area. From there up, walk up there, fish, spend the night, and I'd tell my mom, this is where I'm going to be. Anything happens, I'll call you on my way going home. And yeah, that's how the whole thing started with fly fishing, for me.
So how did you get into fly tying?
Fly tying, shit.
How'd that go down?
That's another fucking rabbit hole you don't want to go down. Yeah, I just started the same thing, reading books. I'm like, shit, I don't want to spend the money in buying flies, And then I started saving money and start buying shit, and I have a lot of fly tying material now. But
I know.
Yeah, and it's just something that it makes your creativity come out when you're out fishing, for bass or trout or whatever, we have our basic insects, but trying to do something different that will, catch more fish. And that's what it's all about right now.
So how did you get into fly fishing for bass?
Shoot. I think I was at Hart Park when I bought my first float.
Really?
When I bought my first float tube. Yeah. On a Saturday, bought a pair of fins and I think it was the red ball waders, the old plastic waders, and a pair of swimming fins. Put them on, head up to Hart Park with little poppers, and started catching sunfish. And I think I was a senior in high school. And that, like I said, that's where most of my money went, was in fly fishing.
So what is your favorite species to catch on a fly?
I think it's bass. I think it's bass, and then I think it'll come to stripers. And then I think trout is at the ass end of, catching fish right now. After I got hurt in a car accident, I was fortunate if I was able to buy a boat where, I'm on the water, and that's what makes it nice. I like fishing Crowley for trout.
Yeah.
But that's another story in itself, learning how to midge and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So a lot of people, when they get into fly fishing, most people in our area start out with trout.
Yeah.
And then they start venturing into other species and whatnot. So what do you think it is that, for me as a guide, a lot of times I'll ask my clients, they want to go trout fishing, but I'll try to sell them on going down to the lower Kern or Lake Isabella to fish for bass. So what is it, do you think, that why do people want to focus more on trout than bass, do you think?
I think it's just growing up, everybody thinks fly fishing is associated with trout fishing.
Yeah.
And as we started evolving in fly fishing with the newer rods, newer lines, different techniques and things like that, it's opened up just Pandora's box for, different fishing. Hell, you can catch tuna, you can catch, sharks. Yeah. Anything that swims, you can catch with the fly rod, and that's what I think. What's neat about it, though, it really makes you think outside the box in trying to catch a different species. Hell, you like to fish for carp.
Yeah.
How many people stick their nose up at us when we say, we're going carp fishing? What the hell are you going to fish for, carp?
I know.
Exactly. Those stinky fish. I'll shoot them with the bow.
Right.
Yeah. But that, that's what's neat about fly fishing. We're trying to catch something that with their brain was maybe the size of a pea. Yeah. And then they outsmart us.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They do.
Like today.
Exactly. We got our ass handed to us today.
What's so cool about bass is that we have so many areas in California.
Yeah.
We have a lot of trout streams, but I think most people within 50 miles, there's a lake of somewhere,
some sort of body water that
they can go fish, right?
That holds the bass species in it. You can catch bass, bluegill, crappie, catfish, carp, and it's in our lakes. And
I got to tell you, man, I mean, I'm of course a trout fly fishing guide and been doing that for a long time. And I guide for bass as well. And I love catching bass. I love guiding for bass.
Yes.
I mean, I love, trout's awesome. But when people want to go fly fishing for trout, I'm like, cool, but when they want to go fly fishing for bass, I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
I mean, what a trip, huh?
No, it is. It really is. Yeah. And that's what's neat about, like I said, fly fishing for bass. Yeah. Just if you ever fish topwater.
Yeah, exactly.
Topwater. It's amazing when you see an animal. It's pretty much what it is. I call bass the hoodlums of the fishing world. Hell, they'll eat birds, ducks, they'll eat snakes, whatever.
A lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people
they'll eat trout.
Exactly, they'll eat trout. Yeah, the bigger bass eat trout. That's why I call them the hoodlums. They're like the gangsters. They're going to go out and they're going to mug you. Yeah. And when they take a topwater, frog pattern or a popper, it's like, they're aggressive on it though. And that's what's neat, watching that aggressive take. It's like, wow, did I just miss that? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It happens that fast. Yeah.
So let me give a little visual for our listeners out there. So today I was with my partner. We're out on the Delta, and the sun's coming up, and we're out there, and there's no wind or anything, and we're throwing topwater frogs.
Yes.
Right. And we're throwing around an old dock, that's like semi underwater, that's like old rotted dock, with an old boat that's like sunk. It's just bitching, right?
I know exactly where you're fishing today. We fished that during Sims Day.
Yeah. And so there's this whole it's just like a bass. It looks like a movie set, like the little restaurant or bar is like halfway underwater. And, there's like plants growing over the building, and it's just bitching looking, right? The sun's coming up, and we pull in there. There's no one around. It's just bitching in there. It's just all quiet and everything, you know, birds off in the distance, you know, and we're just like, we pull in there with our trolling motor and there's just nothing going on. And we start throwing these topwater frogs in there. It's just glass. And we're just like throwing, you know, and then pulling our fly line and pulling these frogs in the water to make them look like they're alive. And we're pulling, all of a sudden fish come up, bam, and hit that thing and just explode on it. I mean, quite frankly, I don't think it gets much better than that.
No, it doesn't. No, that stuff gets your
I don't
juices.
think life is
no,
more.
it does. It gets your juices going when you see the topwater take. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing, man.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That's what's neat about fly fishing for bass. You know, just that aggressive take and visualize seasoning, like what Guy just said right now. Just seeing it take, it's like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah. You know, the other cool, it kind of sucked, but it kind of ruined our water, but we saw like 6 otters.
Yeah.
Came through, you know, and just terrorized our water, you know, and just ruined it.
You know
and
what?
then a seal. And then a seal came in. Well, I guess we're out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
You
So tomorrow I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
We blast off before you. That's where I'm going to fish tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm going to the ghetto bar tomorrow to go catch some fish. I'm going to snake his spot is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing area, man, for sure. That's a sweet little spot.
But yeah.
But you know, the other thing too is with bass is like, you know, not only the topwater area, you know, like throwing it on the topwater, but also, you know, you throw flies that look like fish underneath the water, and then you pull those through the water, and the fish eat those too.
Subsurface, you know? Yeah. That's what's neat though too, because you know we're trying to imitate something that they eat. You know, a shad, baby bluegill, you know, or sunfish or some sort. You know, yeah. And once you get a bass on that strip, it's a fight. It's a tug.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go back from where they were. They want to get back home. Yeah, that's what's neat about it.
And then one of the things that I admire about you, Freddie, is that you're a pretty good innovator of bass flies and trout flies, but some of the flies that I've seen you come up with are pretty awesome, man. And how do you come up with those?
You know, I try to think outside the box. You know, most fly tires, you know, they're within a box when they think. And I'm like, okay, well, hell, if the conventional guys can catch fish on this color fly, how can I, or this color bait, how can I get my fly to look like that bait and swim like that bait?
Right.
You know, that's like one right now that I've been playing with is like the A-rig. You know, it looks
what's a rig?
It's like a multi-school of fish where it's light enough for us to cast. And then I've been trying to figure out how to do a spinner bait for fly fishing. You know, I'm just trying to up our game, you know, with the conventional guys. But I think in a couple of years, I think we can hold our own in the fly in a regular conventional tournament with the fly rod, because with the new lines we have out, you know, the way that their fly lines sink, the new leaders that are out, the intermediate leaders, you know, the poly leaders, that it'll sink slow, like the way a swim bait sinks slow, and then we can imitate it with our flies. So yeah, I think within the next couple of years we'll be, you know, you'll hear a guy winning a major tournament with the fly rod. I hope so. Well,
I mean, hasn't somebody that one dude?
Ryan Williams did. Yeah, they were fishing. I don't know what tournament it was, but they were up north, and he and his partner they won the tournament. Yeah, fishing.
And they were the only fly guys?
Well, I think one was a fly guy, and I think his partner was conventional. So they did half and half on that. But I think Ryan caught some really nice fish. So yeah, with the fly rod in the tournament.
That's awesome, man. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
So you and I we're talking about doing some tournament fishing.
Exactly. Yeah? We're talking about getting our feet wet with the...
We're coming for you, Lake Isabella boys.
Exactly, with the conventional guys. Yeah, we want to come up and see if we can hold our own against you guys. Yeah. But I really do think we can. You know, the way Guy fishes subsurface and the way I can fish topwater and subsurface too, I think Guy can fish. I think we'll do pretty good.
Is that is that the ABA?
I think it is the ABA tournament that they put on. Yeah, because I think they fish... I think it's 5 different lakes that they fish.
Yeah,
with that tournament, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're on it, man.
Yeah,
tear that up.
We got to give them a run for their money. Yeah. Show them what a little Mexican, a little white guy can do. You know that?
Right. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what's in the plans for you, man, in the future? Wait, you know what? Tell everybody about, like, you were guiding there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was guiding there for a little bit, and I took a fall, and that kind of slowed my guiding business down with my partner Phil. And then Phil got
That's
sick.
Phil Davis.
Yeah, Phil Davis. He got breast cancer, and that kind of put a kink in our ship. But yeah, you know, like I believe things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's opened the door for me on a lot of different things that I do. You know, I like doing a lot of volunteering to get fly fishing out. You know, I help a lot with Cast for Recovery. Yeah. And I did Project Healing Waters for 12 years. That's a program that helps teach disabled veterans how to fly fish.
Yeah. And how was that?
It's a neat program. The guys get a lot out of it. I loved doing it though. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun program. And then Guy and we've been talking about, was it called Cast for Hope?
Yeah.
That's something
Cast Hope.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, you know, I think one of the things about like with you especially is, you know, when people give and help other people, and they do it out of love and out of you know, just you know, friendship.
Exactly.
And you know, just to try to help people out, you know, that's a great feeling, and you do a lot of that, dude.
I do.
Yeah.
That, you know, one thing you know, it's so funny that got me into Project Healing Waters. My grandfather, you know, always told me, he goes, if you have a chance to give back to the veterans, this is what I want you to do for me. And then one day I saw Tom Brokaw on the news talking about Project Healing Waters, and I hear my grandfather, after he passed away, tapping me on my shoulder. He goes, that's what I want you to do.
Oh, really?
So, you know, it's just him passing it on to me, and me passing it on to the other veterans around here that, you know, hell, with a lot of stuff that they do, you know, we get to do this, and that's what makes it nice, you know, our fly fishing. Yeah.
You're a pretty handy dude. I've seen some of the like little woodworking things that you do, man. I saw you last night give away a duck collar to some dude, to Maury Hatch, actually.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of giving, man.
I do. You know, I've always
Right?
believed if you have something to give it, because I don't expect anything from anybody.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me self-satisfaction giving other people the joy of what I love to do.
Yes. One of the things that Freddie does for the Southern Sierra fly fishers, along with the Fresno boys, who I'm going to have on the podcast one of these days as well, is they come up and they cook for the rendezvous, the carp throwdown. They cook for the Women's Day.
The Women's Day, the California Fly Fishing Open.
Yeah, California Fly Fishing Open. And these guys come up and they cook, and they're old whitewater guides that know how to throw down some serious barbecue.
and some of the guys they hang around with, they love to drink.
Yeah.
And we have fun though. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. You know, the stuff that you do for a lot of people, man, is very appreciated.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I said, you know, I do it because I love giving to people. I love to see the joy in people's face, you know, when you give them something or you do something for them, and they appreciate it. You know, a lot of people say, you know, I really appreciate it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't know that, you know, that you guys would enjoy it, though. That's what I love about it. Yeah.
So what's in the future for you, man? What's going to happen with you and your wife, Ann?
I think travel.
Where are you guys going?
Travel. I know my wife, you know, is getting through some major health issues right now, but she just retired, and love you, Ann. And we want to do some traveling. We bought a little fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to see the country. We have most of it. Her goal was to do all the national parks. So we pretty much have from Colorado to Hawaii done. We haven't done Alaska yet, but we got all the national parks done. So next couple of years, we're going to start traveling east and start doing all the national parks there.
So you've done all the western ones?
All the western ones, yeah. I think my favorite one so far is Mesa Verde.
Really?
Yeah, Mesa Verde, yeah.
It's a pretty cool one, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one, though, too, yeah.
So my parents were teachers, you know, and so we, you know, it was crazy, man. Like my dad and mom, the day school got out, we'd hop in a VW bus and we would travel across the United States and then into Canada for like 9 weeks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every summer, every freaking summer. And, you know, and so we were gone for 9 weeks. So I had the experience. My dad was really into like seeing all these things, you know, Mesa Verde and Arches National Park and Yellowstone and all these different Tetons and all these different places. So as a little kid, I got to sat in a little VW bus, 1971 VW bus, for thousands of miles for 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And saw
no,
these
that's what's
parks,
cool.
right? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. And what's neat about it, I worked for a gentleman who was disabled and he loved to travel. He loved to travel and loved to fish. So that was neat that I got to take him to a lot of national parks and see the different things. And I was able to fish a lot with him. And that made it nice because so far I've been to 42 of our states. And I think I think I put a line in all of those states right now. Nice. So that's what's neat. Didn't catch a lot of fish in those states, but I can say I wetted a line in 42 of our states and throughout some of Canada though too. Yeah.
If you could go and fish one last time, where would you go?
I think my favorite place to go is Argentina. Yeah.
That'd be your last. Well, you've already been there.
No, yeah, shit, I'd go there again.
Okay,
yeah.
So you'd want to go there again?
I would go there again because I would want to go to fish for the golden dorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's
that's one you haven't gotten.
That's one I haven't gotten yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But shit, there's so many places just here in the United States.
Right?
I'd go fish though again. Yeah.
Like where?
Shit, go fish for smallmouth. That you and I were talking about it. The boundary waters. Oh yeah. That would be a neat place to go. Yep. The Kamloops. Up in British Columbia.
Yep.
That's a really neat place to fish though too. And and going to the East Coast in Martha Vineyard fishing for the blues and the stripers.
Right.
Yeah. That's I said that shit. We have so much water here in the United States to go fish. Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable how much water we have to fish and so many places to go.
Yeah.
Just here in the United States, it's unbelievable.
I know my sister-in-law lives in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and she wants to do the cut slam. And that's where you catch the 5 species of cutthroat in the Wyoming area. So that's something that we're going to try to do in hopefully September, late September, right around that area though. So yeah, like I said, shit, there's just so much water to fish here. Why would you want to go, out of the United States to go fishing?
So why was Mesa Verde your favorite?
I think it's just the way that the cliff dwellers built their homes on the side of a mountain.
Right.
When you see that, you're like, how in the hell
did you hike all down in those things?
Exactly.
Did you hike down in there?
No.
Oh, no.
I stayed at the top and looked up. I'm like, how in the hell did they build those things? How did they dig them out of a side of a mountain?
Right.
Yeah, that's what's cool about that though too.
Right.
And then and I think my other good one is Carlsbad Caverns.
Yeah.
That's a really neat place. But shit, like I said, each national park I think to me has its own unique, mystery on why they became a national park.
How lucky are we to have those, right?
Oh, exactly. Well, that's what's nice in Fresno. We have
Yosemite.
We have Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon.
That's insane.
Within an hour and a half of Fresno.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in all of those 3 parks, we have some great water to fish. And that's what's nice. Where I think we're spoiled here in the Central Valley. Yeah. I think there's 5 lakes within an hour and a half of us where you go fish for bass.
Yeah.
If we want to go fish like what you do at the coast,
we're
2 hours away.
Right.
Yeah, 2 hours away. So
that's crazy. That's that close, huh?
That is that close. Yeah. That's what's neat about it, though.
What's your favorite area to fish in the Fresno area? What's your favorite?
I think
fishery?
I think it's Kings Canyon Sequoia National Park.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite place because we have there's so much water to fish where you're not going to be on top of some other one. You're going to catch small fish, but you're going to catch a lot of fish.
So is that where you go past Hume Lake and then you go into that thing and drive down that canyon?
Drive down the canyon, yeah.
And how is that pretty way back in there?
Yeah, it is.
Like an hour or something? Or more?
It's about an hour and 20 minutes from Hume Lake down into the canyon.
Yeah.
I think Phil, my partner Phil's here. I think it's the deepest canyon that was in North America, isn't it? Yeah, it's deeper than the Grand Canyon.
Whoa.
And it's pretty neat. When you're down at the river and you look all the way to the top of the mountain, you just say, how in the hell is that deeper than the Grand Canyon? Yeah, that's what's neat about that area, though.
And that area in there, it's got wild fish all through there, right?
Yeah, we have brown trout, rainbows, and we have goldens in there though too.
In the Kings, up in that?
Well, no, not in the Kings, but in the park area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we have a little area that Phil and I like to go fish where, hell, we can walk in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're catching goldens, purebred golden trout.
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you guys have that. What about? You guys have. So you have the Kings. And then you have, what's next up? Like, is it, well, then you have the Kauai just below you guys, right?
Yeah, then we have the Marble Fork.
The Marble Fork, yeah.
And
then
then,
what else?
and then you have all the other creeks that are,
That's insane.
The little creeks that feed into there, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things about your guys' area is there's really not a lot of people that go and fish that
There's
zone.
not a lot of pressure.
Because one is like spread out and it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
And which is awesome for, if you want to get some solitude and stuff,
yeah,
right?
it is.
And then you guys have the Kings, and then you have all the creeks and the lakes all in that area around Fresno and the national parks, Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings. And then up from there, you have another river, right? Is that the Merced?
The Merced.
And the San Joaquin's coming up.
The San Joaquin, the Merced, and then we have the Tuolumne, though, too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's what's neat about it. And then we drive an hour and a half east of us from Fresno. Hell, we can go fish for stripers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's what, yeah.
So I was doing a presentation. I think I've told you this story, but I was doing a presentation for the Fresno fly fishers. And so I drive up and I'm like, I'm going to go fish the lower Kings, the wild trout section there. And it was like the wrong time of the year or whatever, but I didn't know. And so I pull in there and some dude goes, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go fishing, and he's, oh, well, the fishing's not all that great right now. It was some dude that had knows all about caddis or something. Do you guys know who that guy is?
Richard Gill.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's all, hey, I go, oh, okay, well, the trout fishing's not very good. I go, is there any bass fishing? He's, oh, I'll take you and show you where some bass are. And so he took me down and and then I said I'm like a speaker for the Fresno. Oh, he's I'm coming to that, meeting tonight or whatever. And he took me down to a section of the lower Kings, and I went bass fishing, and I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, I was just like, this is insane. And they were big bass, right?
There's some huge bass.
It was awesome. So then that night, the meeting, I think I've told you this, and I'm like, the person at the Fresno Fly Fishers was like, all right, anybody been doing any fishing? And I don't know, one dude said, I went there or whatever. And it was just like crickets, And then I raised my hand and I'm like, I went fishing, and they're all, are you did? And I'm like, yeah, I fished the lower Kings for bass today and just tore it up, man. It was awesome. And then all of them were just like, what?
What? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It was like, and I was just blown away.
No.
I mean, you guys got that whole fishery down there.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And those are, were they largemouth?
They're the largemouth.
Yeah, largemouth bass.
The largemouth.
There's no smallmouth in there, or is there?
I haven't seen, I think the only smallmouth there on the Upper Kings. On the Upper Kings, yeah, there's some smallmouth in there.
At a Pine Flat.
That's the
other fishery you guys have too. Oh my God. So you have the Upper Kings coming into Pine Flat, Pine Flat's an amazing fishery, but like those fish will run up
up the river at high water and they'll swim and then they'll
and they'll be in that zone up there,
in that
right?
zone. Yep.
That's kind of very similar to the Lake Cachuma and where the San Ynez comes into Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara. Same exact thing kind of goes on, yeah. And then you guys have Pine Flat, and then that releases the Lower Kings. And then something that's really cool that has happened with the Lower Kings that a lot of people don't know about is, well, you want to talk about that? As far as the section down there with the boulders and how you guys did all that stuff. It's pretty cool, man.
Catch and release section that the Fly Club, Fresno Fly Fish Conservation, kind of steward that on. Is pretty much from all to weir all the way down to 180 special rags.
How long of area is that?
What about 12 miles? I think it's about 12 miles of water that that's fishable water with special regs. Yeah, but the way California is, that's another.
So I got a story. For that. But anyways, to let people know that what's really amazing is the section below Pine Flat Lake in the Fresno area is the fly fishers there, the Fresno Fly Fishers. They came in with tractors, I'm assuming, and they put in all these boulders and created all these, like, the structure for trout.
A lot of pocket water
and stuff, because before that it was just raging through there, right?
It was just a canal before that. Yeah.
And so they actually created habitat for trout down there, and then they also created like boxes to raise trout in there or something?
Vibrant boxes that we use. We used to raise our own little hatchery fish, put eggs in the river, and then they would hatch, and then the fish that we hatch would, we'd replenish the river with that. Yeah. And we're still doing that. They're still doing that. Yeah.
So, then the Fish and Wildlife would put like giant fish they would stock into this section, and it would be an amazing, if you could catch one of them, it would be really fun.
Yeah, it is.
And what's really neat about it is these fish really come accustomed to eating really tiny flies in that section. And we're talking how small, Fred?
Small, 18s, 16, 18s, 20s. Yeah. The blooming olive hatch is amazing in the wintertime.
Even smaller, right?
Yeah, well, hell, when you and I were fishing there, we fished a fish for an hour.
Yeah. I love that kind of fishing.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. Very technical. Yeah, he and I, we sat there and we're like, how in the hell are we going to catch these fish? We threw everything we had in our box at them, and then, we didn't even hook one.
I love it. I love that kind of stuff. And he's coming around sipping, up and sipping, and he's 20 inches or so, and he comes up and sip and like look at our fly and say nope,
don't want that one
right next to it. But I love that kind of stuff, that technical stuff. Where just you have to have a little bit of skill to try to catch them and stuff like that. So that's kind of a neat thing that has happened in the Fresno area is they have that wild trout section. So here's my story. So it's a catch and release section, right? So this whole section, this whole 12-mile area is supposed to be catch and release.
Yes.
So the Fish and Wildlife, they'll come in there and they will stock this area with, giant fish,
huge
really.
Fish. Yeah, they were planting some huge fish in there.
Yeah, and they'll stock it with, some other... Subcatchables, yeah. And so you can go down there and have a good time and release the fish. It's barbless hooks as well, which is kind of neat. The problem with that area, in my opinion, of just fishing it over the years, is that sometimes people will come in there and they will poach that.
Yeah,
correct.
There's a lot of poaching going on in the lower river right now.
And so, the Fish and Wildlife, I'm assuming they don't have enough folks there to patrol it. Is that what's going on?
No, not enough game wardens to get on there and patrol it. Yeah, we can see people poaching, call Cal Trout.
Yeah. 2
hours later, they'll call you. Oh, did you call us? Well, yeah, called you because, someone's, violating, the lower river.
Yeah.
So, it's not a win-win for us right now down there.
Yeah. And I think last year I was down there fishing it, and it was getting poached pretty hard, unfortunately.
Yeah. You see a lot of warm, little bait buckets, salmon eggs along the river and things like that. Yeah.
So for those that don't know, that are listening to the podcast, that, what's the importance of an area like that for catch and release? Why make it catch and release, and why don't they just make it so that you could come in there and fish with worms and salmon eggs and stuff like that? What's the benefit of having it as a catch and release?
Catch and release, I think personally, me and my opinion is for the next person to come in and catch a fish. So if I catch a nice fish, I'll let it go, and then I can have my buddy come in and try to catch the same fish. But if someone comes in and takes it, they're stealing from us. That's the way I look at it, though.
Yeah. So you could say that somebody that catches a fish and then takes a picture of the fish and then puts it back is being kind of,
it's good stewardship.
Yeah.
Good stewardship for the river.
I mean, that fish is over 20 inches. Yeah, it's probably got some good steaks on it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But imagine this, you guys, if you're listening to the podcast, like if you put that fish back, right, and then you take a kid down there and they catch that fish and they take a picture of it, can you imagine the stoke on that kid's face after he catches a fish like that because you put that fish back?
Exactly. Right? Exactly. That's one thing, with my grandson that I'm teaching him is catch and release.
Yeah.
Take a picture of it, put it back, so then someone else can come in and enjoy the same thing that you just enjoyed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if somebody catches a fish like that, what's the best way to make sure that it survives?
Hell, that's a hard one for me, because everybody has their own way of doing, releasing their fish and things like that. First thing I do is wet my hands.
Yeah.
So then we don't take any of this slime off. Try not to use a net if you can, but most of us do.
Right.
And then, try not to hold it out of the water no more than 5 seconds. That's a rule that that we like to do is take a picture, put it back in, take another picture, put it back in the water, and then release it. Try to revive it. Make sure it's healthy when we let it go back in.
I think one of the most important things is, with trout is so they can breathe,
Exactly.
With bass, you can hold them out of the water, hey, look at this thing, and then put them back in the water and they'll flip you off as they swim off.
Exactly. They'll splash you with the tail.
But, with trout, they're a little bit more...
a little more delicate.
Yeah.
They're the delicate flower.
Yeah. And so I think what's really important when you handle a fish is to make sure that, they're breathing and they're in the water and that you don't hold them by the gills.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And put your finger in there, like, through their gills and that sort of thing. Or, how people hold a bass, they will hold a bass by the jaw and hold it like that. That's okay with bass, but with trout, that's not a really great thing to do because it'll break their jaw.
Break their jaw, exactly. That's why I said, they're like the delicate flower of the water.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys, check that out sometime. Make sure to. I guess the flows are pretty insane.
The way they are in the Kern right now, it's the same thing that's on the lower river right now.
Any trout that were in there are not.
Exactly. If they were there, they're all the way down to Tulare Lake right now.
So the flows on the Kings are pretty insane too, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
What do you think they are right now? Like,
they're about.
Are they in the 10,000?
About 20 on the upper Kings. They're about 22,000 right now.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and then
that's insane, right?
On the lower right now, I think the max they can do, I think it's maybe pushing 13. But yeah, and a lot of that water, runs. It has to run somewhere.
Yeah.
And there, look at Tulare Lake right now. Lake has been dry for how long?
Yeah, that's insane, huh?
30, 40, 50 years?
Yeah.
Or even longer than that. And now, it's a lake where you can put a boat in it now. Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, look at all the waters, all the creeks that feed into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lower Kern is the biggest I've ever seen it. It washed out the road. For those that don't know, the 178 is closed right now. Going up from Bakersfield into Lake Isabella got washed out, man. By the river, the road is like got undercut by the water, and the road is jacked up.
Yeah.
So, that's how much water. And I guess from what I understand, Lake Isabella is getting ready to spill, which is insane to think about. But the lake is getting so full that it's going to go over the spillway and go into the lower Kern, which is going to create even more
havoc. Yeah,
down on the lower Kern. So I don't know how long that's going to take for that road to get repaired, so you can go up from Bakersfield through
into Kernville. Yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
It's going to hurt a lot of the business up there right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Freddie, thanks for being on my podcast,
thank
buddy.
you, bud. Hey, you know what? Shit, anytime we get together, it's always fun. It's always good to see a good friend.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate your friendship, man. And I really appreciate you and your giving and all the things that you do for everybody, the clubs, Project Healing Waters, all that stuff, man. I really appreciate everything.
It's so funny, before we go, is that, I like giving people a lot of shit. And if I give you shit, means I like you. It means I love you.
That's right.
And if you don't hear anything from me, you know what? You're not my friend. But yeah,
that's for sure.
Exactly. But it's good. And I hope you and I get to fish some more.
Yeah,
I know we will.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
No, thank you, bud.
All right, buddy.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to the podcast. This is the Guy Jeans Podcast. We'll talk to you soon.
It's a Guy Jeans Podcast.